Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's a Thursday. That means we have Dear John Letters coming up later in the show. Got a good one for today. Also, I've got a quote here from J.K. Rowling. You know who that is, right?
I do.
Who is that?
Wrote Harry Potter.
Yes. It says, it takes a great deal of courage to stand up to your enemies, but even more to stand up to your friends. I agree. We just watched a movie. What was the movie called? Can't think here. It was called Flipped. And in the movie, there's a young lady by the name of, I can't think of what her name is in the movie. Anyway, I'm going to be doing an interview with her.
Good story, John.
Thank you so much. No. In the movie, there's a young lady by the name of Madeline Carroll. She's an actress. We've had her on Movie Star Mondays in the past. She's also in the movie I Can Only Imagine. Anyway, I've got an interview scheduled with her coming soon, one of these Mondays. But I wanted to watch the movie because she's in that. In the movie, there's a little boy that kind of has a crush on this girl, and then one of his friends is talking bad about her, and he didn't stand up for her, just like this quote today. Remember that? He kind of he agreed, and she overheard it. And I was like, oh, you're in deep doo-doo now, mister. All right. Coming up, we've got a lot of great stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Thursday, the 7th day of June, National Oklahoma Day, National Boone Day, National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. Is that your favorite? Which kind of ice cream is your favorite?
Bubblegum.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ugh.
This is the best ice cream ever.
I don't know. It's good, but chocolate's better.
No.
I think chocolate's everybody's favorite. And then National VCR Day. So let's pause for a second and tell kids what that is. Video Cassette Recorder. Did you know that's what VCR stood for?
Yes, I did.
There's some people that don't know that. How about VHS? What does that stand for?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was kind of hoping that you know. But it is VCR Day today. And kids, back before there were DVRs and before there were all these other cool technologies like DVDs, we would take cassettes. And then when you got done with the movie, you had to rewind it. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And
Be
you would get a
kind.
fine if you didn't rewind
Be
your
kind,
movie
rewind.
before returning it.
Yeah, it was a bad idea to not rewind those things. All right, coming up, we got a lot of great stuff. Thanks for listening on this special Thursday, the 7th day of June.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Time now for another fun-filled, action-packed episode of Prison or Vineyard. Heidi, tell me, is it a prison or is it a vineyard? Coffeewood in Mitchells, Virginia. Is Coffeewood a prison or is Coffeewood a vineyard?
I'm going to say prison.
It is a prison. Yes, Coffeewood is a prison. How about Grande River in Palisade, Colorado? Is Grande River, or it may just be Grand, Grande, Grand River or Grande River in Palisade, Colorado. Vineyard or prison?
I'm going to say prison.
No, that one's a vineyard.
Oh.
You got one right, one wrong. I'm going to throw in a third one here, just so you either win or you lose.
Okay,
Because,
all right.
right now it's tied. That's not fair. This one is from England. It is called Seedlescombe, Sedlescombe. It's in Robertsbridge, England. Is Seedlescombe a vineyard or a prison?
It sounds like a prison, but I'm going to say vineyard.
It is a vineyard. Good job, Heidi.
Woohoo!
You know, if you just guessed
I won.
vineyard on all of them, you'd probably be right most of the time. Because It's when you go back and forth, when you waver, that you get them both wrong. So,
Yeah.
good job. This has been another episode of Is It a Prison or Is It a Vineyard? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police in Portland, Oregon say a 43-year-old man who was driving drunk on the wrong side of the street offered officers $50 to let him go. Yeah, that's not how it works, dude. Police pulled the drunk driver over this last weekend as he was driving toward an officer on the wrong side of the road. And this was, it says on Southeast Division of 148th Avenue. We don't know where that is. Anyway, police said the man's blood alcohol level was 0.23, which is nearly 3 times the legal limit.
Oh,
He then offered a bribe of $50. Hey, if you guys let me go,
$50.
I'll give you $50. So I wonder if they said, is that $50 for each of us, or are we going to have to split that? Split it? No, that's not going to work then. No, they did not take the bribe. They would not take the bribe. That's a bad idea. Don't try to do that. The man was arrested for driving under the influence and bribery. He has since been released from jail on his own recognizance. I read a story online where somebody said when they get pulled over for speeding, they put a $100 bill around their driver's license when they hand it to the officer. I was like, that is a terrible idea.
it's a very bad idea.
Like, that's a bad idea. You're just assuming that all cops are crooks and they're going to take the money and let you go on a wink, wink warning.
Yeah.
Like, it'd probably be cheaper than $100 to just give them the...
Well, then your insurance goes up.
But
So
I'm
really,
saying,
in the long run, yeah,
it's such a bad idea. And it's such a sleazy thing to do.
it's a bad idea.
Because I think every officer listening right now would say, I don't want you to just assume that I'm going to take your bribe and
Right.
hand me here's my officer, here's my license and registration and a little
If
something.
I was the cop, I'd keep the money and give them a ticket. Who are they going to complain to?
See,
I tried to bribe the officer and he took my money.
Heidi, you're terrible. don't say stuff like that. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Kendall Jenner is dating an NBA star by the name of Ben Simmons. However, Simmons allegedly is cheating on an ex-girlfriend, Tyrashi? I don't know, with Jenner. I don't know the
Who
name.
cares?
I don't know.
I don't know any
How
of-
is this big screen, little screen? There are people who are famous just for being famous. That doesn't make any sense to
No,
me.
it doesn't.
I don't understand that. Blake Painter, a former Deadliest Catch captain, was the youngest skipper of the fleet during season 3 on Discovery's reality show. He was found dead just last week in
my
Oregon.
gosh.
That's really sad. And Brody Jenner, how in the world? This is another Jenner story. 2 Jenner stories in one break. Brody Jenner is deeply hurt that Caitlyn Jenner won't be attending his upcoming wedding. Caitlyn apparently has some issues with the way her son is living with her son's life choices. So I'm trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree.
Let's think about that for a minute here.
Caitlyn Jenner not on board with his life choices, so she's like, I'm not going to your wedding. Okay. She used to be Bruce Jenner, for those of you who
Wow.
haven't kept up with all of
It
that.
is
Very bizarre.
something else.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by 49bydesign.com. A study focusing on the effects of excessive screen time on children concludes that because their brains, sleep patterns, and eyes are all still developing, kids that is, they are more vulnerable to sleep disruption from staring at their phones, computers, and televisions too much. So here's the thing that's interesting. I know many parents who give their kids a screen to preoccupy them so they can do, and I understand that, hey, watch this so I can get something done. I get it. That makes a lot of sense to me because you're trying to get things done. But then they're complaining that the kids are on those devices too much. I'm like, you trained them to do that.
Yeah.
That's like teaching your dog to speak, and then complaining that he barks all the time. Well, you taught him to speak.
Right.
And you give him a treat for that. Now he's expecting a treat, so it's kind of like your fault, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a link to that study if you want to read all the details. It's in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. You'll also find this. A recent study shows that eating meals earlier in the day can lower your risk of diabetes and lower your blood pressure, Heidi. Heidi's blood pressure is so high that I've never once seen them do your blood pressure one time. Every time, they'll take your blood pressure
This can't be
and they'll
right.
say, this cuff must be broken. And then they'll come back and do it again. They're like, wow, you feeling okay?
Do you need a gurney?
Should we roll you? Why don't you hop in this wheelchair and we'll roll you over to... So you should eat earlier in the day and see if that helps, Heidi. You
We
think?
don't really eat late.
I don't know.
Do we?
Probably. We eat early and we eat
must
late.
eat
That's the problem.
Really late with
We-
as high as your blood pressure
Too
is.
much. A woman in the UK ordered takeout food just so that a delivery person would help her remove a spider from her home.
That's funny.
She tweeted, "My fear of spiders was taken to a whole new level today. I ordered food in hopes the delivery driver would help me remove the spider. Thankfully, the delivery guy, Joe, was able to come to her rescue. And yes, Joe took care of the spider for her."
That was nice.
Would you do something like that?
I could see myself doing that, yeah.
I don't think I would do that, but I will admit to something that I probably shouldn't admit. I remember one time my neighbor's cat climbed under the hood of my car. I didn't know the cat was there. I started my car, and let's just say if the cat had 9 lives, used all 9 lives. I didn't know any of this happened until there was an interesting odor a few days later. And when I discovered it, I shouldn't even admit this. I went to an oil change place. I didn't want to clean it up. I was like, oh, how do you get all this out of here? So I went to an oil change place, and they have the windows to look out there so you can watch the show while they're doing it, And I was watching as this guy opens the hood. Then he comes in and asks me, he's like, "Excuse me, sir, do you have a cat?" I'm like, "No, I don't have a cat." He goes, "Well, there was a cat under your hood." I was like, "You go ahead and let the cat go. That's not my cat." I knew that the cat was not walking away. But
The
anyway,
cat's not going anywhere.
he took care of the problem for me. So
That was very nice.
yeah, so that's kind of my story, similar to the delivery guy taking care of the spider. But I guarantee you, the guy at that oil change place did a much tougher job than the delivery guy smacking a spider. The first legal bare-knuckle boxing match was held in Cheyenne, Wyoming on Saturday. Some say the legalization of bare-knuckle fighting breathes new life into the sports world. And during this event, they had all kinds of people, bare-knuckle boxing, even 2 women. There were 2 women that squared off in the main event, and it was all done on pay-per-view. So would you go to a sporting event where they had bare-knuckle fighting? It's just like, a bar brawl, basically, but it's legalized. Would you go watch something like that?
No.
Not your
I have
kind of
no
thing?
interest. No, I have no interest in that sort of thing.
Apparently, people kind of liked it. And the first legal boxing match was held in Cheyenne, Wyoming, about a week ago, a little less than a week ago.
There you go.
I don't know. And it looks to me like that's going to do it for our time. So this has been your Scoop of the Day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John. Dear John.
And today's Dear John letter, I'm actually excited for this one because I bet there are a lot of people that are in situations like this, so this might help many people. So here we go. Dear John, every summer we get a week-long vacation as a family. We've been doing the same thing every year for a long time. We go to my husband's family's cabin at a lake for a week with his whole family. My daughter is now 15, and my son is 12, and they don't want to go. Secretly, I don't want to go either. How do we approach my husband about this? He actually gets 2 weeks of vacation, so I was thinking I might suggest he still go, but we do something different as a family. Should I even admit that I don't want to go? Should I just let him know the kids want to do something else? Please help me out of this jam. Signed, Sick of the Lake. This is kind of a pickle that you're in here, isn't it?
Not really. I mean, I would say if they've done the exact same thing every single year and they want to do something different as a family, there's no reason they can't do something different.
But here's the issue that I see. There are things called family traditions. And if their family's tradition is everybody takes off that same week and goes to the lake together, that's part of their family tradition too. I wonder if you could do this.
Right, but when people work so hard and you only get so much free time to do the exact same thing over and over and over again, I could see them saying, let's do something else.
So what is your suggestion? Then I'll tell you mine.
I would say, let's maybe do this every other year, where 1 year you get to choose, and if you want to go to the lake with everybody, then that's what we do, and then the next year, then the family gets to choose. I think that's a fair compromise.
That is not a bad compromise. Now, here's another idea. What about this idea? She says that he gets 2 weeks. So what if you say, if you want to go for that whole week, I think you should go do that. And we'll come and join you for either the very beginning of it or the very end of it. So you guys all go together for a couple days. And then that way you can have, his 2 week vacation, 1 whole week with the family somewhere, and then 1 whole week with his rest of his family, grandmas, grandpas, brothers, sisters, whoever. But that way he gets to do both, and you guys don't have to go to the lake for a long time, but you still want to go and see people, I would think. I don't know. What do you think of that? Would that be a good compromise?
Well, the chances that he gets to take 2 full weeks all at once are probably pretty slim.
Well, then you guys just go for part of the week, and then you all go separately on a different vacation together later. They don't have to all be together. It could be whenever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think you want to be really careful, because if you do this the wrong way, then he's going to think that you have a problem with the family. And it doesn't sound like that's the issue at all. The issue is really that, hey, I just don't want to do the same thing all the time.
Kids are getting older, and they just don't want to do that anymore.
Maybe what you do before you even have the discussion with your husband is talk to the kids about alternatives. What would you rather do? What is it you guys want to do? Because maybe he's sick of going there too. I mean, have you thought of that? But he keeps going, well, this is something we do. Everybody does it every year. It is very possible that when you say, we were thinking about maybe going and checking out this roller coaster or whatever the kids want to do, if you come up with an alternative, he may say, you know what, that sounds like a blast. I would much rather do that than go hang out with my brother at the cabin. So, sometimes he's just doing it out of, habit as well.
An obligation.
And it's an obligation that everybody has been put into. And I do like Heidi's idea of maybe doing like an every other year thing. Yeah. But if nothing else, if you say, hey, what do you think? What if we could still go up for a day or two, but then we go do our own thing. As a family, we start our own tradition. And if the kids want to do something different, offer some suggestions. But I think if you go to them and just say, we don't want to go, but we don't have a plan, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Anything is better than going hanging with your family. That's what they would. I mean, seriously, Isn't that what you would hear?
Yeah.
But if you say, hey, we were thinking about this, and I agree with the kids, we should go do this. And I don't think that it's something you have to say, I don't want to go either. But if it comes right down to it, and he's saying, well, what do you think? Don't lie to him. Be honest.
Right.
Say, I think it's time for something new. If you have a Dear John letter that you'd like to submit for next week or one of the upcoming weeks, you can submit those through our website, johnandheidishow.com. And we respond to every Dear John letter. We always keep them anonymous as well, so nobody ever knows who it is. And we post them on our Facebook page. So if you have a better answer for today's Dear John letter, you can give that better answer at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Iceland consumes more Coca-Cola per capita than any other nation. Iceland.
Really?
You know why? Because they got all that ice. So they might as well put something in it.
I knew that's where you were going with that.
Of course. I mean, what else would they do?
I would like to
that?
see Iceland.
We'll have to go there sometime.
Yeah, I'd like that.
It is interesting. Greenland is actually colder than Iceland. they named it, they're kind of named backwards.
Yeah.
So Greenland is where they really have the ice.
Yeah.
And Iceland is where it's, really green. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Almonds are a member of the peach family. That's kind of interesting. If you think about the pit of a peach, it kind of does look like a giant, weird-looking almond. So those two are related. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cranberry is the only Jell-O flavor that contains real fruit flavors. Everything else, it's all fake. It's fake news. No, it's not fake news. It's fake flavors. That's what it is. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. A couple of fun facts courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and today's word is Dowsabell. What do you think Dowsabell is? Have we talked about this one? This sounds familiar to me.
So Dowsabell.
Maybe just because I've been trying to get things ready in advance and I looked at it ahead of time. Dowsabell. Dowsabel. Dowsabell. Heidi, maybe this will help. You are my Dowsabell.
Okay.
Does that help?
No.
A sweetheart or a lady love. You're my Dowsabell.
Yeah, please don't call me that.
Come on. Instead of dear, you don't like it. I remember
I do not like dear.
When we got married 18 years ago, and I called you dear one time, and I thought you were going to kill me. It's like, yes, dear. And you're like, do not call me dear. I'm like, whoa, you just turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger there for a second. What was that all about? She apparently had a bad experience with a deer one time. But how about Dowsabell? Okay, Dowsabell.
No, thank you.
I think it's kind of a cute word.
No.
Dowsabell.
I don't think I
All
like
right.
that much.
Dear Dowsabell. No. All right. This has been your grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Time now for some weird news. On a Thursday, a plane heading to the Spanish island of Gran Canaria was forced to make an emergency landing after passengers began to vomit and faint because of the stench of a man's body odor.
Oh, my gosh.
The man in question smelled so bad that other tourists began fainting and vomiting after the plane took off. They took off from the Netherlands. Belgian passenger Piet van Hout, who was on board the flight, described the smell of the other man as, quote, unbearable. Staff on board the Transavania, I don't know if I'm saying that right, whatever it is, airplane, reportedly tried to quarantine the passenger.
Oh, my God.
They put him back in the restroom by himself.
I can't even imagine how bad that must have been.
And then pilots took the action of diverting the flight. The plane landed in the Portuguese city of Fargo to allow the smelly man to be removed from the aircraft. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be?
Embarrassing.
They're like, why are we stopping in Fargo? Oh, the guy had 5'7", stinks. He stinks.
Oh, my gosh. The people were passing out.
5'7" is probably not an airline flight, is it? It's not a seat. 5A, that's what I meant. Is a joke funnier that way? The guy in 5A really stinks. No, still didn't work. Either way, that would be bad. If people are fainting and vomiting because you don't smell good, take a bath. I'm just saying.
Holy cow.
Especially if you're going to travel. You'd want to anyway, wouldn't you?
You would think so.
I would. All right. This has been Weird News, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. Time now for your moment of duh. An Indian man from India spit in his boss's drink when he thought nobody was watching, but he was actually caught in the act on camera.
Oh, no.
The office staff member was seen spitting in the woman's water cup moments before handing it to her.
Oh.
The man was reportedly unaware that the craftily placed cameras were located around the office. And this is in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The video, uploaded to social media, has widely circulated all over the place, and the man has been suspended. An investigation began 4 days previously when the legal officer noticed a change in the man's behavior. After becoming worse, the female official decided to set up hidden cameras to record his actions. When she realized that the orderly had served her water and he had spat in it, she initiated proceedings against him. Spat? Is that the word?
Yeah.
He spat in it.
He spat in it.
I didn't know. I want to use that now. How can I use the word spat a little more often?
Just use it more often.
I'm going to start using spat. I can't wait till I have spat a few times every day. That doesn't quite work.
She must be a very difficult person to work for.
I don't know, but if you have issues going on where you have to set up cameras around the office to see what people are doing to you, maybe you change the way you do things too. Just saying. All right.
Because he's probably not the only one.
I'm going to set up a camera while I leave the office and see if I catch Heidi doing anything around here. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, tell me if this is a real, true story that actually happened in the great state of Florida, or if it's just a bunch of flubbery.
Okay.
If it's fake news, if we made it up. 63-year-old Florida man caught walking around the neighborhood naked carrying a bottle of cooking oil. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is a true story. I haven't had fake news in a while. So, folks, if you've got some good fake news stories you'd like to submit, I get plenty of Florida stories sent to me now.
I'd kind of like to hear a little more about
Okay.
what was the
If
deal?
you'd like to submit them, you can do that at johnandheidishow.com. 63-year-old Joseph John Musso, Gulf Breeze, Florida man, was walking around a neighborhood naked carrying a bottle of cooking oil. Several phone calls came to officers, and somebody even had security footage of the man, who was later identified as this Mr. Musso. They saw him walking with a plastic bottle of cooking oil because he, quote, liked to rub it on his legs, end quote. After a brief chase and a struggle to handcuff Mr. Musso.
I bet it was a struggle. He's all oily.
Slippery little devil, isn't he? They had to use a taser to arrest him. He receives sexual gratification by being naked in public. So he's got that going on. Anyway,
There you go.
He admitted to running around the neighborhood naked before. County court records say that he faces charges of indecent exposure, lewd and lascivious behavior, and resisting arrest and loitering. So you don't want any one of those. But you start adding those up, and all of a sudden, Christmas cards are going to be difficult this year. I'm just saying. This has been Fake News or Florida. We've got some good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. Odiva, by the way, is a monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Here's a headline, Heidi. Toddler calls 911 to save mom's life despite only being 3 years old. How cool is that?
Wow, that's pretty cool.
From the perspective of a 3-year-old, her mother was asleep on the floor and was unable to wake up because she was under a spell. So she did what she'd been trained to do. She grabbed mom's phone and she dialed 911. Miranda Craig, who lives in Liberty County, Texas, with 3 children, suffers from narcolepsy. She taught Dorothy to call for help if she ever found her in a spell like that.
Right.
But it's, in the event of an emergency. When Liberty County dispatcher Leah Holly answered Dorothy's call, she had to work quickly to pinpoint the family's location. Holly attempted to get as much information as she could from a toddler who kept repeating, "Mama, Mama." Officers spent about 30 minutes going door to door in the neighborhood looking for Dorothy and her mother. When they arrived, the children were in a very precarious situation. So it's a really good thing that she did what she did.
Wow.
And it says here that she was unconscious on the floor, had a 2-year-old son in the sink full of water, and a 5-month-old baby secured in a car seat on the floor. So she forgot to take her medication that day, and that's why she passed out. So Mama and kids are all good, and it's just a good news that it's a really very cool thing that the 3-year-old knew what to do in this case. So
wow,
how crazy is that? That could have ended very badly.
Oh yeah, especially with one of them in a sink.
Yeah, so
full of water.
Could have absolutely ended badly. So again, it's not a bad idea to teach your kids what to do in the case of an emergency. I remember teaching my kids what to do. I said, we were driving down the road. I said, if something were to ever happen to me, what would you guys do? Like if I had a heart attack in the driver's seat? So I taught my kids what to do. My dad had a heart attack, not a whole lot older than I am, and he died at only 49. So I'm not there yet.
We've practiced heart attack rescue features in several scenarios.
He's like, what would happen if, my heart would give out? She's my wife, so that's what she's talking about. I was like, could you roll me off of you and get help, or would you be smothered? This may be a little more information than we needed to share. I've got a link to the good news. This is not in there, but I've got a link to the good news in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
I'm a little uncomfortable now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.